since we last spoke, Ryan Trahan has made YouTube history. The man taking care of the Annabelle doll suddenly died in his hotel room. The Jeffrey Epstein situation has just got so much crazier. Uno is being added as a table game in Las Vegas, and the main stage for Europe's largest festival has burnt down just days before it was supposed to begin. All of that and so much more. Subscribe to join the Pre-Milli Club. Really trying to find a catchy name for that one. But while we think of one, let's stop the yapping and let's go. Now, before we begin, just a little bit of an update from me and Alex. As you can tell, this video should have been a BIWO. And I think we all know what that stands for nowadays. But alas, it is Thursday. That is because Alex is in the middle of one of the biggest moves of his life. And so he's going house to house, being a mental week. So Wednesday's video, Thursday. Friday's video, Saturday. And then next week, good Lord, I don't even know. So really, get your fill in manja of news today, because I don't know when it's gonna come next. Let's begin. Okay, I think we kicked it off with the most wholesome news. Ryan Trahan is quickly approaching day 40 of his 50 days, 50 states challenge. And by the time you're watching this, he would have raised over $6 million for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Come on. 6 million is crazy. And it just blows my mind to think not only is he doing that, but he's also just putting in the freaking grind of a video every day. And not just that, but having to drive to a different state every day. And the rate that he's going at, not only will he probably make YouTube history with this series, but he may also be making fundraising history. Now, I did a little bit of research, and the biggest amount raised by a content creator in a single campaign that I can find is firstly Jacksepticeye, Thankmas 2022. He raised over 10 million for World Central Kitchen. And then the second one, which I think is actually number one, is two French streamers by ZeratoR and Dutch. They raised nearly 12 million in 2021. And to be fair, that one is on the Guinness World Records website. So 12 million is the number to beat. But Ryan still has 10 days left. And yesterday, he did a whole million. And keep in mind, his initial goal for the amount that he wanted to raise for St. Jude's Hospital was 1 million. He's now blasting past 6. He's even got a leaderboard of the biggest donations, which currently are Peter Attia in 5th place, Dollar Shave Club, 150k is crazy. Staple Games, 243k. Airbnb makes sense, 250k. And then number one in one donation, Electric Bikes, 510,000. The series itself has pulled over 100 million views already, and with a bunch of spots still to be taken in the Wheel of Doom, I think Ryan may just make YouTube history. So I mean, all we got to say, W Ryan, W series, W cause. And W's in the chat for Ryan. Holy glaze, let's moving on. Okay, I think we know what we're about to talk about. The Epstein situation, and oh my god, every day it somehow gets crazier. When will it stop? Never. And this update is pretty huge. So before we talk about the fact that the new metadata is uncovered, that it wasn't just 1 minute that's missing, almost 3 minutes have been cut. Before we talk about that, let's talk about the new framing of this whole situation, all right? New framing coming your way, because Trump has spoken to multiple journalists, and he has double, triple, quadrupled down on the fact that this whole Epstein situation is a giant hoax created by the Democrats. Oh, I've got to play you a few clips. These are crazy. You need to see them. So the first one is him responding to reporters. Here's clip one.
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life.
Man, we gotta put that in the wall. He's been dead for a long time and has never been a big factor in terms of life. Hey, we should actually put that on the wall. Just thinking about where we put it, actually. I'll do it when we're not recording so I don't waste Alex's time. But it gets crazy because then he goes on to say that this case is boring.
But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think, well, really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going.
So basically, if you want answers to this whole Jeffrey Epstein situation, you're either a bad person or fake news. Don't worry, we still get crazier because yesterday Trump was asked if it was his attorney general, Pam Bondi, who told him that the Epstein files were a hoax. This is what he had to say.
No, it's not the attorney general, no. I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him. And it's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier that turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats are good for nothing other than these hoaxes.
And then just to triple down on this new narrative, he then posts a truth. I think he posted a truth. Anyway, on Truth Social, he says their new scam, referring to the Democrats, will be forever called the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters, so he's already saying, the ones that believe in this, you're not even my supporter anymore, have bought into this bullshit hook, line, and sinker. So yeah, from all of his comments on the situation, is just kind of suddenly turned into the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and it's about the Democrats now. Even when the Democrats, even Democratic supporters, this is not even a left versus right issue. This is just a humanity wants to know the truth issue. And to be honest, when you think about it, the only backlash that Trump is really getting now is because he won't release them. And that's all down to him whether he releases them or not the Democrats. And then I guess the only other part is that people, they're now accusing him of being in them. But that claim was made mainstream by Elon Musk. And he was your bro. Another strange development in this whole situation is, Jesus. The tweet from author Stephen King. I've never seen something like light on fire so quickly. He tweeted, "The Epstein client list is real. So is the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus." Bro, this is done over like 61 million views and is now his most popular tweet ever. But everyone in the comments was just like, why? What do you possibly gain from this take? They were pissed. He was then forced to clear up what he meant, and he said, "Did Epstein traffic young girls? Yes, of course. Is there a client list? Doubtful. Conspiracy fodder." Now, make of that what you will, but talking about conspiracies, one of the craziest updates on this whole situation in the last couple of days was the fact that Wired has now posted another report, and they say they now believe way more than 1 minute is missing from the raw Epstein footage. They say that in the original file's metadata, the first of the 2 clips that were stitched together to make that 10-hour-long thing, it should have been 4 hours, 19 minutes, and 16 seconds long. But the published version, the one that we saw, was only 4 hours, 16 minutes, and 23 seconds long, meaning 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Where is it? It's supposed to be there. According to the metadata, the cut occurs just before midnight. Now this, along with so many other sus things about this whole thing, has caused a representative to introduce what you will know as the Epstein Files Transparency Act. This could be like one of the last shots. But this would force the House of Representatives to vote on the complete release of the government's files related to Jeffrey Epstein. So all of the House, they would have to vote yes or no to release it. And then to kind of like pin them in a corner, the representative who introduced this act said, if your representative won't sign the discharge petition, ask why. And all of this is made public. So if they say no, then, oh man, they're gonna get hell online. And I don't wanna make this segment too long, but I'm gonna keep on talking about this Jeffrey Epstein situation, because if we all stop talking about it, then under the rug it goes, and we forget about it for another 4, 5, and we'll never get any accountability. Sorry, last bit. Trump posted, "I've been speaking to Coca-Cola about using real cane sugar in Coke in the United States, and they have agreed to do so." To which Gavin Newsom, California governor, replied, "Oh my God, I've totally forgotten about the Epstein files now. Thanks." Least you forget. Moving on. Okay, let's talk about Lamine Yamal, because he has probably had one of the strangest weeks, dare I say, ever. Because over the weekend, he turns 18 years old. He has this huge secretive birthday party where people weren't allowed to like take photos or record, which at the start it seemed plausible. He's this big celebrity now and he wants to party in private. But then the beginning of the week comes around and we hear some wild accusations. People say that a number of individuals with dwarfism attended the party to entertain the guests, like some Wolf of Wall Street type beat. And honestly, when I heard about this, I actually was just like, nah, this is just the internet trolling. It cannot be real. But then a disability rights group came out and said that what happened at that party violates disability right laws in the country, Spain, and they'll now be taking legal action. What the hell? They say it's unacceptable in the 21st century that people with dwarfism are still used for entertainment at private parties, particularly when public figures are involved. And then on top of that, a few days later, the freaking Spanish government said, well, we'll do an investigation too. What the helly? You know what they say? Ain't no party like a yiddy party. I'm kidding. That's going into dangerous territory. On the flip side, though, to give you the other perspective, one of the workers with dwarfism had an interview. She said, we have our own contracts. We are normal people, self-employed, and do everything legally. I don't know why there's so much noise right now. What the Disability Association is doing right now is discrediting our work as professionals. We do this job because we want to. No one is forcing us. But then, as I said, the week continues because as he's being investigated for that situation, just a couple days later, Lamine then signs the biggest contract of his life. He was seen yesterday taking his grandmother to the office where he signs 7 years with Barcelona until 2031, and they gave him the holy number 10 jersey. Keep in mind, some of the last players who wore that for Barca were Maradona, Ronaldinho, and of course, Messi. Now, Lamine Yamal. And just keep in mind his age when I tell you how much he's getting paid. He is 18 years old. He was born in 2007. He was 13 when COVID hit. And now he will reportedly be earning $435,000 a week, which equates to about $17 million a season. And that 17 is base salary with bonuses and all of the others. They say he could potentially be rising up to 23 million. That is not considering brand deals. That is not considering any other revenue. Holy crap. Insane. No pressure. You better become the best in the world. Moving on. Okay, now this next one, it can't be good. Paranormal investigator Dan Rivera was just found dead in his hotel room while he was on tour with the Annabelle doll as its primary caretaker. This is like some horror movie in real life shit. Now, this information is according to the organization hosting the doll's tour across America, and they posted on Facebook saying that Dan suddenly died while at an event with the doll over the past weekend. Dispatch records show that firefighters and medics rushed to his hospital on Sunday night, where they performed CPR, but they did not disclose the cause of death. So, Dan was only 54 years old, and he was the lead investigator for the New England Society for Psychic Research. Annabelle, the doll, will continue traveling throughout America for the next few months. I don't want the smoke, so let's quickly move on to some rapid fire whippings and some rapid fire news. 3 sacrificial lambs, but I most enjoyed Comrade Theodore's rhetoric. I, a humble servant, sacrifice myself for the News Daddy empire to ensure all newcomers subscribe. Listen to Theodore. Remember, they hurt, so you don't have to. Subscribe to the channel. Extra sacrificial today. Also, in the last couple of days, Tomorrowland Fire. A fire has destroyed the main stage of Tomorrowland Music Festival in Belgium. Just 2 days, nay, as a recording, it was supposed to start tomorrow, and it's gone. Festival organizers said on Wednesday evening that nobody was injured in the blaze, but the cause of which remains unclear. Don't know how it happened, and so many freaking people are gonna turn up. Actually, I don't even know if the event is canceled. I don't think it is. Anyway, next. The world's oldest marathon runner, 114 years old, was killed in a hit and run. Bro was literally refusing to die from natural causes. 114? And then humanity said, let me step in. And he was a global icon too. He had multiple records for the oldest person to complete marathons. He carried the Olympic torch. He had a freaking letter from the Queen. But then on Monday, he was taken to hospital with critical injuries after a speeding SUV hit him and he died. Just like that. Worst part about all of this is that according to the police complaint, his life might have been saved if that 26-year-old driver didn't flee the scene, but just put him in the car and taken him straight to hospital. You bastard. Only good news about this is that they have found the driver and they will now be prosecuting him. RIP to a real one. Next, assault in Las Vegas is about to skyrocket because Uno has officially been added as a table game in one of the casinos. In fact, Uno didn't just get added as a game. They have opened entire social clubs inside the Palm Casino Resort, which is filled with branded stuff like branded Uno pool tables, bowling alleys, bars, and even Uno-themed rooms where people will stay in if they win, I guess. But I mean, my biggest question is, what rules are they going to be playing? We all play by different rules, so if that dealer tells me you can't put a +2 on a +2, I will throw hands. So the question is this just gonna end in fights and badness, or is this great? And this is my type of gambling. Next. I probably shouldn't be saying gambling on this channel. And then lastly, the Trump administration has fired a federal prosecutor who worked on cases like the Jeffrey Epstein case, the Diddy case, Ghislaine Maxwell case. Her name is Maureen Comey, and you might recognize that last name because her dad was the former head of the FBI during the Biden administration, and boy, does he hate Trump. Now, they didn't say why she was fired, but a lot of people are speculating because it's something to do with the father, but we don't know. Just a bit of more mystery to add to an already
delicious corn casserole
situation. And with that, I think that's a wrap. I hope you guys feel all caught up with the world's madness. And I do think that Friday's upload should be with you on Saturday, so I still got you. But from Saturday onwards, next week, it's just, I don't even know, survival for us at the Empire. But I love you all. Have a great start to the weekend, and I will see you on Saturday. I can't even say the word glazed without thinking of food right now. Everything is running through my mind with food, Alex. I'm on 1,500 calories this week per day. Just try and do one day of 1,500. If you tried that, you'll realize I'm fucking starving here. Like, I'm malnourished